Fuck all these niggas and bitches, they dead to me. I got the sauce, I got the remedy. Say you my dog, but act like an enemy. I make a call and turn you to Kennedy. Not wasting my time, not wasting my energy. Shot for my confidence, shot for a back.
From really being one of the best players in the league a couple years ago to now really almost about to be out of the league in 2023 and 2024 NBA season. James Harden has met the headlines lately for the Philadelphia 76ers. And in this video, I will be explaining why James Harden will be out the league very soon. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Will, and back again with another video. Here's the thing with James Harden, y'all. I'm going to get straight to it. I know I've been away for a minute, but I'm going to get straight to the action real quick. James Harden has been one of the best shooting guards in NBA history. We can say that. He's definitely top 5. He got a nasty handle. He got a quick first step. He knows how to get to the free throw line with ease. He knocks down most of his free throws. He knows how to create space with the ball. He also knows how to facilitate the ball. He knows how to be a magician with the ball, with the basketball. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to score. He's definitely one of the best scorers we have ever seen in today's game. But the biggest problem with James Harden is not really off the court, but mostly in the front office. Meaning, James Harden never could be satisfied. Which I get, especially if you're trying to win. But it's a difference between having a winning mentality and an immature mentality. And I believe James Harden has that immature mentality. Because I get it. I heard the reports. Daryl Morey was lying to James Harden, and James Harden has every right to feel how he wants to feel. But that doesn't mean you should be an unprofessional. See, James Harden has a reoccurrence of this action when he was back in Houston. Starting in Houston, right? He was leading, he wanted help, so they went and got Chris Paul. They got to the Western Conference Finals. They got to Game 7 with the Golden State Warriors. Chris Paul being injured. What does James Harden do? He still puts up decent numbers, but he struggled versus the field. Now, let's backtrack. Back in that, I believe it was the 2016 season when they went to the playoffs, and it was in the second round versus the San Antonio Spurs. What did he do in Game 6? It was one of the egregious performances we ever seen by a superstar in NBA history. 10 points. 10 points. Now, let's keep going forward. When he faced the Golden State Warriors again, he had a game where the Warriors knocked him out on their home floor, where he turned the ball over 12 times. 12 times. One of the most turnovers by a superstar in NBA history also. Now let's keep going forward. As he becomes a little stagnant with Houston, especially when Chris Paul gets traded to OKC, right? Because eventually he didn't like playing with Chris Paul. He felt like Chris Paul had the ball more. He wanted the ball, and they couldn't click. So they went and got Russell Westbrook, who was, known to be one of his great friends in the league, right? And that dude didn't pan out to be what it's supposed to be. They only got to the second round in the bubble, the playoffs, the 2020 NBA playoffs, and they got knocked out by the LA Lakers, who was the 2020 NBA champions that year in the bubble. So that dude didn't work. So James Harden wanted Russell Westbrook out there. He wanted him out also. Now, at this point, James Harden wanted really to be out of Houston because at this point, he felt like, I don't think I can win here. We have a lot of opportunities, but I just don't feel like we had enough. No, James Harden, you wasn't enough. And you was that dude. But when it comes to the playoffs, let's be honest, you wasn't. Now let's fast forward. James Harden gets traded to Brooklyn to play with KD and Kyrie. They ended up only playing 16 games together as a duo. The whole 2.5 years they was together, they only played 16 games in the regular season together. I believe it's including playoffs, but if we don't want to include playoffs, then it's 16 games. They ended up, the furthest they got was the Eastern Conference semifinals versus the Milwaukee Bucks, in which Kyrie wasn't injured and James Harden obviously wasn't healthy. And he did try his best in that game 7. He gave it all he could, but unfortunately they fell short. So he wanted to be out of that situation. So James Harden has got all the things he wanted. He wanted to play with Joel Embiid and go to Philly and be with Daryl Morey, who at this time became the GM of the team and the owner. Daryl Morey is at Philly, so they went and got James Harden. And everybody thought, okay, now Philly is definitely a contender. They got James Harden, they got Ben Simmons out of there. Well, Ben Simmons was definitely going to the same situation, kind of. Philly wanted Ben Simmons out of there, so they went and got James Harden. And so Philly was pumped up. Philly's, feeling themselves. James Harden gets to play with Embiid. He finally gets this, what he wants. He finally gets what he wants. But now, fast forward to now. As we're in a situation where reports, like I said, Daryl Morey was lying to James Harden, and James Harden was calling him a liar. And now James Harden doesn't want to play with the team no more. He wants to be out. He wants to play with the Clippers now. And it seems like he's not really showing up to practices. He's trying to make a statement. He's trying to get the hell out of there. So what Philly is doing, they're not even allowing him to play. They're not even allowing him to travel. They're not even allowing him to travel with the team. Now I heard today that he's at practice and he was attended in the last game for Philly. But James Harden needs to leave. They need to get rid of him because it seems like it's really distracting Joel Embiid and the rest of the team. As James Harden got Doc Rivers out of there. James Harden didn't want to play with Doc Rivers no more. So they went and got Nick Nurse. And now James Harden not even going to be able to play with Nick Nurse. So the point is, ladies and gentlemen, who's really going to take on James Harden? Let's ask that question one more time. Which team will really take on James Harden? It's not the Clippers because they don't want him no more. They don't really need him. I don't understand why the Clippers want him. You already got Russell Westbrook with Paul George and Kawhi. And you got Bones Holland. And you got some young thoroughbreds. You still got Terrence Mann. The Clippers are stacked. The Clippers got a team. Why would we need James Harden? Doesn't make sense. Now there's reports that the Bulls want him. I don't believe that. It'll be another situation like Brooklyn. Yeah, you'll have James Harden with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, but it's only one ball. James Harden will want the ball. And unfortunately, James Harden is not the same player he used to be. He's still a borderline all-star, but he's not that dude no more. He tried to show in the playoffs one game versus Boston. We dropped 40 plus, but that was it. And then we got the rest of the teams in the NBA. I don't think there's any team that wants it. Now, don't get it wrong. There's a lot of teams in the NBA that can take James Harden, that can use James Harden. A lot of teams. But specifically there's a lot that comes with James Harden. There's the immaturity. There is the unprofessionalism. There is a lot of other things that comes with James Harden that a lot of teams do not want to take on. So this is my point. Is James Harden going to stay in the NBA? We got to wait and see, ladies and gentlemen, because this is not a great situation. This is not looking good for James Harden. He has to become more humble and did what Russell Westbrook did and do what Carmelo Anthony did before he retired. Take a lesser role. If James Harden cannot do that, he will be in Shanghai. And that's gonna be sad story for James Harden. Because I believe he's still got a lot in him. He's not the same player he used to be. But he's got to change that mentality. And I don't care what he does outside the court. I don't care. I see him go outside all these strip clubs. Now it's not right to go during the upcoming games and stuff. He needs to stop doing that too. But this is the other stuff with James Harden, the baggage that a lot of teams don't want to take. So if he takes a lesser role, he'll be on another team in another week. If he doesn't, he'll be out the league. That's all I got today for this video, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all like this video, give your boy a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch y'all next video. It's been your boy Will, and I'm out.